CEO Jacqueline Mugo, please.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. First of all, I want to start by saying that this is a very important occasion because under tripartism arrangement, Your Excellency, this is where we belong. I want to recognize your Deputy, Brother Rigathi Gachagua, and also to recognize the chairperson of the Council of Governors, Sister N. Waiguru. I want to also to recognize our Minister for Defense, Adan Duale, who is here with us, and my own sister Florence Bore, who is in charge of this very important ministry of labor and social protection, with our two respective PSS, representatives of UN agencies, and other cooperating partners. I will try to be very brief because I'm told my time I've got to share it with my twin sister, Jacqueline Mugo. First and foremost, let me thank you, Your Excellency, for taking personal initiative and commitment on issues related to social security. I wish to equally appreciate the efforts being made by our parent Minister for Labor under the able leadership of our sister Bore. Sister Bore, historically, she came from us. She's part of the labor movement in this country, and she understands the dynamics in social protection and labor movement per se. The Central Organization of Trade Unions, being the only national labor center in this country, we support the government in this initiative, and for us to realize the adoption of the roadmap towards universal social protection for a socially just future for all Kenyans, we must work together. We have no escape route. That is the only route towards realization of total coverage on universal social protection, which is very important. Let me refer you all to the World Social Protection Report 2020 to 2022 on social protection as the crossroads in pursuit of a better future, which indicated that the road requires building permanent universal protection, social protection systems to provide adequate and comprehensive coverage to all and guided by the effective tripartite or under tripartism arrangement as anchored to the International Labour Organization that regulates the world of work and that comes up with both recommendations and international labour conventions that protect and urge member states to take keen interest in providing social protection to its citizens. Indeed, these are efforts essentially for preventing poverty and inequality as well as addressing current challenges, in particularly those facing old age, like where I'm going, because I'm one and part of Kenya's senior citizens. Your Excellency, if you don't have hope when you are retiring or when you are leaving your employment, or you are having hope against hope, since you didn't have anything in place to lay your hands on, no social protection, you can hardly take 3 months leaving. The next place of where you will end up is in the grave. I want to thank you, Your Excellency. In your inaugural speech, you included issues related to social protection of Kenyans. However, let me call upon those running other occupational pension schemes not to view the changes and the seriousness you have taken to transform National Social Security Fund as a threat. This is a compliment, and I would urge them also, and I would urge planners and policy makers to come up with a policy that can condense all social security pension schemes into one large insurance scheme that can cover everybody. I don't want to go further. I want only to finish by saying that the International Labour Organization under Convention 102 of 1952 sets out the minimum standards for the provision of social security, just as the Constitution of Kenya 2010 under Article 43 on economic and social rights provides that every Kenyan citizen is entitled to pension and social security. I want to end there because I'm sharing my time with my twin sister, Jacqueline Mugo, by saying that, Your Excellency, your Hustlers Fund must be supported. Because if it succeeds, this will be a study case for so many countries, where the lowly placed people can just pick up a telephone and get a loan. It's not easy, it has never been practiced elsewhere, and you shouldn't abandon this area of social protection. And as I end up, I want to take this brief opportunity, Your Excellency, for having taken deliberate, very deliberate decision to provide us, workers, employers, and those people who are in various businesses, including platform economy, to give us what we call industrial peace. We have hope now, and that initiative must not go unsupported. We thank you for that. Thank you very much for listening for me. I invite my twin sister, Sister Jacqueline Mugo. But sometimes, Your Excellency, becomes very difficult when we want wage increases.
Your Excellency, President William Samoei Ruto, our Deputy President, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, the Cabinet Secretary for Labor, all protocols observed. As you can see, I'm living on borrowed time. Your Excellency, I want to assure you that Francis and I have different parents, although we work in the same sector, but he loves calling me his twin sister. And I appreciate the partnership we've had with the workers over the years. It is a great pleasure and honor for me, on behalf of employers, to be part of this distinguished conference as a strategic partner on social protection matters. Since I'm living on shared time, I will indeed be very brief. I believe the outcomes of this conference will directly impact the lives of many Kenyans. So we want to thank you, Your Excellency, for taking time to be here physically with us, because I believe that comprehensive social protection will make a big difference in the lives of many Kenyans. We know that a well-functioning, robust, and sustainable social protection system is the dream of all Kenyans in this country, young or old. And employers have keenly examined the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto and agree with the vision and aspirations contained therein. The challenge and the elephant in the room, Your Excellency, is financing. Just as the government is struggling with the fiscal space to finance its development, so are businesses. So we look forward to having social dialogue to find win-win solutions to address the challenges that face our economy. Employers have been part and parcel of the International Labour Conference that developed the many ILO conventions that deal with social protection, and we are committed to working with your government to fulfill the aspirations of those international instruments that we pass in Geneva, where we believe our CS will be leading us in June. We know that social protection is robust. A lot of work has been done in the area of social assistance. We are discussing pensions, but there are other 7 components of it that this country still has to grapple with. And we just want to say, Your Excellency, that we wish your government well, and we wish to work with your government closely to be able to find solutions that are sustainable towards these challenges that face our country. We believe that we must all rise to the occasion and do our part so that every Kenyan has access not just to social protection, but to affordable health care and indeed comprehensive social protection in this country. So with those few remarks, I want to thank you very much for listening to me, and I pray that the Lord would bless our government under your leadership, that he would bless our nation, and indeed make it rise to the high level that we all pray for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, our tripartite parties. Your Excellency, I now call upon the Chair of the Council of Governors, Honorable Anne Weguru, to come and make her remarks, and then call upon the CS Labor Social Protection, Honorable Florence Bore, to come and continue from there. I thank you, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Your Excellency, Rigathi Gachagua, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, CS Florence Bore, our host, CS for Defense, Honorable Aden Duale, fellow governors who are here, the Secretary General of KOTU, Dr. Francis Atwoli, CEO of FKE, Madam Jacqueline Mugo, Principal Secretaries, Ambassadors, High Commissioners, Mission Representatives, County Representatives, Development Partners, Private Sector Representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure to join you today to deliberate on a matter that is not only dear to us as the duty bearers, but it is also of great importance to the citizens of this country. This conference is particularly relevant and significant given the challenging economic climate we are currently facing as a nation. We therefore laud the organizers of the conference led by the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection for putting together such an event, which will provide policy makers, experts and citizens with a platform for discourse on what has been achieved so far and the strategies to be employed to achieve a desired future. Herbert Humphrey states that the moral test of a government is how that government treats those who are in the dawn of life, the children, those who are in the twilight of their life, the elderly, and those who are in the shadow of life, the sick, the needy, and the handicapped. Therefore, the moral test of this great nation will indeed be tested by the legal, institutional, long-term strategies and program frameworks we put in place to facilitate the realization of the right to social protection. Before the Constitution of Kenya 2010, several policy documents attempted to provide for social protection. While social protection has been implemented in Kenya from time immemorial, as evidenced in the various policy documents, it was only institutionalized through the Constitution of Kenya, which contains a comprehensive Bill of Rights in Article 43 that guarantees Kenyans economic, social, and cultural rights. Therefore, the effective implementation of social protection measures is crucial to ensuring comprehensive development across all sectors of our country and guaranteeing its citizens their human rights. The well-being of citizens, particularly those who are disadvantaged and underprivileged, hinges on the availability of robust social protection mechanism. Investing in social protection is also a key way of achieving the Sustainable Development Goals in Kenya. It will help us meet several of the targets, including goal number 1, no poverty, goal number 2, zero hunger, and goal number 10, reducing inequalities. Ladies and gentlemen, while Kenya adopted the devolved system of governance, its aim was to bring the government closer to the people and promote equitable distribution of resources and services across all regions and the country. Ultimately, devolution sought to facilitate the provision of efficient and effective services to citizens at the grassroots level in areas such as health, education, agriculture, and infrastructure development. That is the epitome of social protection, bringing services close to the people, to those at the bottom of the pyramid. Rightfully, county governments have made significant progress in social protection as follows. Owing to sustained resource allocation, averaging 30% of the total county budgets towards health programs, provision of health services has been enhanced. Access to safe water and sanitation has substantially also been improved in all the counties within the last decade. Notably, the provision of farm inputs and technical guidance from agricultural extension workers has led to improved agricultural outputs in the counties. There has been the establishment of municipalities to enhance the provision of services in urban areas, providing services that have targeted safety and security, such as street lighting. County governments have also ensured increased access to education through the introduction of school feeding programs at the ECDE level. County governments have also put in place robust social protection policies which have provided a framework for the implementation of social protection programs while ensuring that vulnerable populations have access to basic services and social safety nets. As a country, we face significant challenges in implementing social protection programs. One of the main primary challenges is the lack of coordination in the implementation of such programs, both horizontally and vertically. This often leads to fragmented efforts. Many counties have limited financial resources and technical capacity to effectively design, implement, and monitor social protection programs. This has resulted in fragmented implementation, and sustainability of social protection program has been jeopardized. Ladies and gentlemen, social protection must therefore be integrated into the broader development strategies. We ask that the Ministry of Labour, together with the Kenya School of Government, work together with the Council of Government to effectively design and help us implement social protection programs and policies. We must also ensure that our social protection programs are inclusive and reach the most vulnerable members of our society, including women, children, and persons with disabilities, and the elderly. Your Excellency, I know that your government is keen on social protection. This keenness is a recognition that failure to invest in social protection systems can erode the gains made in our great nation. It is our view as county government that effective realization of social protection in Kenya is possible if we, one, remove all financial barriers preventing access to health services and protecting Kenyans from the impoverishing effects of medical expenditures; two, providing for the economic security and social welfare of workers and their dependents, especially in the case of income losses due to unemployment, work injury, maternity, sickness, old age, and death; strengthening governance by ensuring transparency and accountability in the implementation of the social assistance program; and restructuring institutions delivering on social protection within the context of devolution. These institutions include the NHIF, the NSSF, National Drought Management Authority, and the National Social Security Secretariat. On behalf of the 47 county governments, I want to reassure you that the counties are committed to delivering on social protection programs. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to state that the welfare of 46% of Kenyans who are living below the poverty line, with 19% of them being in chronic poverty, can only be guaranteed if we put our heads together and make social protection policies, systems, and structures work. I would also like to remind all of us that by helping people participate economically and protecting those who are most vulnerable, we can build a more equal and prosperous Kenya. I wish us all fruitful deliberations ahead. I thank you. I'd like now to invite the Cabinet Secretary, our host, Honorable Florence Bore to make her remarks. Karibu.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces, CGH, Your Excellency, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, my colleague, Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Duale, CS Defence, Principal Secretaries present, Chairs of Committees of Parliament present, our social partners, COTU and FKE, the British High Commissioner, Ms. Jane Marriott, the UN Resident Coordinator, Dr. Steve Jackson, country representatives of World Bank, UNICEF, WFP, FAO, and UNHCR, conference delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I welcome you all to this third Social Protection Conference that the Government of Kenya is hosting. This is a biennial event that brings together the social protection fraternity from within the country and across the globe. The purpose is to promote shared experiences and learning for improved social protection programming and increasing investments in the sector. In the words of the former US President Franklin Roosevelt, we are constructing a more inclusive society where no one is left behind. The objective of this conference is to promote the scale-up of integrated and adaptive social protection system aimed at addressing multiple vulnerabilities across human cycle risks. The theme is accelerating inclusive and integrated social protection system in Kenya. The strategies for expansion of coverage and improved shock responsiveness. You recall, Your Excellency, that in 2018, you also officially launched the Social Protection Week, whose theme was scaling up investments in social protection for the delivery of Kenya's Vision 2030 and achievement of sustainable development goals. Over the period, social protection sector has seen increased investments, including innovative interventions for vulnerable populations affected during the COVID-19 pandemic period. Your Excellency, the social sector has a population of about 20 million, comprising of children, older persons, and persons with disabilities who require social protection services. Yet, the funding for this sector is currently at 0.7% of our GDP. We appreciate, Your Excellency, for making social protection a priority in your transformative agenda. We continue to appeal for your support to ensure enhanced coverage to the unreached, sizable number of the poor and vulnerable populations in the country. My ministry will continue to enhance social protection delivery systems to ensure efficiency and effectiveness in the provision of services. This conference will culminate into a call for action which will guide prioritization of interventions for the sector over the next biannual period. I therefore call upon all the respective actors in this forum to build ownership and prioritize interventions that can help us realize progress towards a more sustainable, inclusive, and shock-responsive social protection within the period. We are privileged as a sector to have proactive partnerships that have lasted over a decade. The partners present here today have supported us in various fronts, including social protection policy and legislative agenda, technical assistance to the improvement and strengthening of social protection systems, financing joint programs like this one, and also implementing targeted programs to the populations that are yet to be covered through government support. The review of the Kenya Social Protection Policy 2011 and the Social Assistance Fund Bill, which are at the final stages of completion, have been made possible through our partners' technical and financial support. I wish to appreciate the immense support of the World Food Programme, the FAO, UNICEF, Foreign Commonwealth Development Office, FCDO, UNHCR, World Bank, state and non-state actors for committing their time, technical and financial resources in seeing through the preparation of this event to fruition. Mother Teresa, quote, she said, "Help one person at a time and always start with the person nearest to you." Your Excellency, social protection is about the bottom up, the people at the lowest point of the pyramid. I wish to thank you all for listening to me. It is now my humble duty to welcome His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. Karibu.